So to help the listener to understand this better, I usually like to use the analogy of a musical symphony, right? And just like in every musical symphony, there's a conductor, a person who reads the notes, the musical notes, and sends signals to the musical players, letting them know what to do, which note to hit, how high, how low, etc. In our bodies, there's a symphony that happens every 24 hours. And I'd like you to imagine or let the conductor from the musical symphony represent the central clock in the brain, and let the musical notes represents the light information from sunlight, and the musical players represents our organs and cells in our bodies. Now, the conductor in our body is continuously reading the musical notes from light information and is responsible for telling all of the millions of cellular clocks in our organs and cells what to do. It's how our body knows when to wake up in the morning, when to tackle big problems and be creative, when to eat and digest, and when to go to bed at night. Now imagine if the conductor from the musical symphony keeps on reading the wrong musical notes. How would the music sound? Awful. Now, I want you to imagine if this happens to our body. And it does every single day in our modern life. We do not allow the conductor in our brain to pick or to read the proper signals of light, because we drown it with artificial light that is mainly blue light, which signals to our brain that it's 12 noon summertime all year long, and that it's supposed to be doing one thing rather than the multitude of self-healing functions that nature has programmed us to do across a 24-hour cycle. And this literally starts ruining our sleep and wake cycles. When our waking cycle is ruined, we wake up feeling tired rather than motivated and alert. I mean, the reason we wake up in the morning is because in response to light, the central clock in the brain sends a signal to the adrenal gland above the kidneys to secrete the hormones cortisol and adrenaline. And this healthy cortisol pulse in the morning alerts our body that it's time to get moving. And this creates physiological changes. It literally increases our body temperature, it increases our heart rate and our breathing rate. And therefore, we start becoming more alert, focused, and ready for the day. Now, at this particular moment, a cellular timer is set that dictates when another very important sleep hormone called melatonin will be released about 12 to 14 hours from the time this healthy cortisol pulse got released in the morning. And this will determine when we will go to sleep, how well we will sleep, when we will wake up the second morning, and how energized and focused we will be when we wake up. So there is also another very important factor that will play a major role in the release of melatonin. And this factor is called darkness, because melatonin can only be released in response to complete darkness. And therefore, if we look at those two factors together, I think there are two very important things that will determine when we sleep and how well we sleep. The first thing is the timing of our morning sunlight. Okay, and the earlier it happens during the day, the earlier we would want to go to sleep at night, and the earlier we would want to wake up the second morning. And the second very important thing is blocking all artificial light at night and getting the darkness that our body is waiting for in order to release melatonin in the blood and tell all of the clocks in our bodies that it's time to wind down and relax.